This is kind of sad. But it's kind of sad for me too, because every time I try to get some rest, the mentally disturbed, hate stalking, perving, creeping pedophile named Jasmine Irizarry starts to engage in some very disruptive, aggressive behavior that is occurring in the middle of the night for absolutely no reason while I'm lying on my bed trying to sleep. And then the result of that is that I can't sleep. And she does this deliberately. I know it's her because this has been going on for over 10 years. This is a pedophile who doesn't sleep. She is a very talented hacker, according to her sponsor and friend, the property manager Oleg Eliseyev, who is evidently Russian or from Russia and likes hackers. I mean, I guess Russians really like their hackers and they do a lot of that. And you hear about it in the news on a regular basis. Mr. Eliseyev is no exception to Russians using hackers to do their dirty work. And he keeps praising Jasmine Irizarry's hacking talents. Not recently, the last time he did that was in 2023 in a direct one-on-one personal conversation about Irizarry and how he had moved her out of Unit 78, but that he continues to house her in this building. So he's moving her around like a chess piece in this building. And it's always into one of the units that is adjacent to this one. So there apparently is a new resident in 78, but that person doesn't seem to be in there much. And I have reason to believe that Irizarry is being permitted to continue to access the area around the bathroom of 78. I'm not sure how she gets in there or who's giving her that access, but the same exact pattern of psychotic, violent slamming and banging, deliberate propagation of intense, overpowering amounts of smoke and fumes, and the use of a directed energy device continue to manifest themselves from the area behind my bathroom, which is the utility closet separating my shower stall from the living space of Unit 78. Irizarry herself claims to be a structural engineer who gets paid to solve problems. No, she said she gets paid to take care of problems. There's a difference. And right now I'm lying on my bed trying to sleep. It is 2:30 in the morning on what is now Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. I've been lying on my bed for 2 hours trying to sleep quietly, not bothering anyone, listening to some YouTube meditation videos. And this seems to trigger Greenville's pedophile, perving, creeping, hate stalking pedophile named Jasmine Irizarry into using her directed energy device. And over the last hour and a half, while I've been lying here trying to sleep, I am being prevented from sleeping by Jasmine Irizarry's ongoing, unaddressed use of a directed energy device that seems to have been put into her hands by the Russian owners of this building and the Russian property manager, Mr. Oleg Eliseyev. Why don't you check out 60 Minutes Australia's several documentaries about the Russian use of directed energy devices. That seems to be a signature Russian tool of remote harassment that is obviously electronic and surveillance based in nature. You can't use a directed energy device on a target that you can't see. You have to know where to aim it, and it has a range that is pretty impressive. You can also make your own directed energy device by watching YouTube videos and following instructions on websites that are dedicated to the building of directed energy devices. Stupid low-life IQ rejects who watch my channel are too mentally deficient to understand any of this. So this video is not for those pieces of shit that can't stop hate stalking my channel and make really embarrassingly stupid comments that nobody ever reads anyway, nobody cares about, and that don't make an impact on anything. They just dox the psycho trash mental health issues of the hate stalking BLM asswipes who can't leave me or my channel alone, neither physically nor on social media. So right now I'm going to have to call the Greenville group and leave a voicemail and then send an email to their attorneys letting them know that the pedophile psychopath who they keep referring to as their surveillance expert named Jasmine Irizarry is once again resuming her use of a directed energy device to electronically assault me, as always, when I'm lying on my bed flat on my back, facing the ceiling. This piece of shit is so predictable, it's embarrassing for the piece of shit. Irizarry is a pedophile. She's also criminally insane and has a history of trying to kill people by vomiting on them and or otherwise smearing her contaminated body fluids on other people or their belongings or their personal care items or their food. She's a homicidal psychopath and therefore is not entitled to any kind of privacy because she presents a threat to the general public by being exactly what she is. So the connection between the use of a directed energy device and Jasmine Irizarry is not just the fact that she has admitted in writing on social media like a stupid criminal to her use of a directed energy device, bragging that she has it on a tripod in her living room. She doesn't have a living room. She's a piece of shit who's a sex offender who has been housed in this building complex as some sort of inmate from the Department of Mental Health for over 10 years. She has never had a job. Not a legitimate job. I mean, she claims to be a structural engineer who is getting paid to take care of problems. But her handler, Mr. Oleg Aleseyev, told me several times in person that Jasmine Irizarry doesn't work. I actually asked him about that because she was constantly showing up on all of the subway trains that I was taking to get to work downtown a few years ago, just before the pandemic. And I said, does she work downtown? Because she's always on the trains that I take to get to work. And he said, she doesn't work. He said that she's anyway, I've already said that. So there have been violent slamming and banging noises from directly beneath this bed from Unit 76 over the last 20 to 25 minutes. It is now past 2:30 in the morning, and the banging and slamming suddenly happened concurrently to the use of a directed energy device. And every time I flip over on my bed to try to turn over and get more comfortable, the piece of shit directly below in 76 starts making deliberate, repeated slamming and banging noises directly beneath my bed. And then the use of a directed energy device starts happening. So there's two things happening at once that are probably connected. The violent slamming and banging from what I now believe is Irizarry, the perving, creeping, pedophile pig, directly below in 76, and her admitted use in writing of a directed energy device. She's a mentally disturbed reject who has no life and who literally gets apparently paid to hate stalk people because that's the only thing that she can do. Being an obsessive, mentally disturbed sex offender, pedophile psychopath, apparently the crooked Russian slumlord saw that as some kind of an asset that they can harness for their own nefarious purposes. They are not legitimate, law-abiding citizens. I'm starting to wonder if they're even operating in this country legally. I'm assuming they are. I mean, you can't really own a building complex and have a management office without some kind of legitimacy. But they're so crooked in terms of their use of illegal surveillance devices in my bathroom, which, as I keep saying, even if there was some type of political reason or legal reason to place surveillance devices in my living space, there's absolutely no purpose for putting surveillance devices around my toilet or in the shower drain or on the knob of my shower stall. And they're doing that. They've even bragged about it. They've even referred repeatedly to Irizarry, the pedophile pig, as their surveillance expert. So right now, I can't sleep. I'm being prevented from sleeping, and not because I'm not tired. I'm absolutely exhausted, but because Jasmine Irizarry is making violent slamming and banging noises directly below in 76. I don't know if 76 is officially vacant and empty, and she's simply accessing the premises of a vacant unit, as she tends to do. She's been doing that to the vacant premises of Unit 78 for over 2 years now, and slamming and banging things against the wall behind my sink. But she's also using her directed energy device to electronically assault me based on evidence surveillance footage of what I do when I'm lying on my bed, which is right now lying flat on my back trying to sleep. So I'm going to call the Greenville group now. It's right around 2:40 a.m. and let them know that their pedophile pig, who is a sponsored criminal harasser by all accounts and by her own stupidly admitted written comments, is using a directed energy weapon to electronically assault me based on the illegal surveillance devices that Greenville themselves have admitted are in this unit. So there we go. Happy Tuesday morning, folks. I will eventually get some sleep, but not before I've left a few voicemails and emails for the Greenville Group, their attorneys. And, time to start filing restraining orders against everyone, as I keep saying. I did file a motion in court 3 business days ago. I might have to refile it in person, but it will get filed.